Welcome to another episode of Locked In with DJ Scenario, and I got a special guest in the building. Joy Rocks is in the building with me today.
Hey.
I appreciate you locking in with me.
I appreciate you.
First of all, let's get with the name Joy Rocks. Why that name, and what does it mean to you?
Okay, well, long story short, many moons ago, I was probably my third performance ever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, there was another artist named Joy, Joi.
Okay.
I think her last name is Gillum or something.
Mm-hmm.
She does funk, rock, soul, something.
Is she still? Do you know if she's still performing to this day?
I think, but she's like really older and she got some dope nails. So I don't know. It's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
a
yeah,
different
yeah.
vibe. But at any rate, it was causing a problem when I started. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they thinking that Joy, they looking me up and like, that's you. And
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
so I had to come up with something. But while I was moving around with my girlfriends and all, I had my little first show at Madison Square Garden. Not the main center stage, but there's some room.
First of all, who says I had a little show at Madison Square Garden?
No, because I had to get that straight.
How is that a little show? You just said at the Garden.
Listen, you know, it was one of those big showcase things. So it wasn't really like how you expect all these super duper monstrous stars.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing. So they had some stage, but it wasn't like the main
It was
stage.
inside the Garden though?
Yes, it was.
That's still a big deal. You don't think so?
What I was visualizing and dreaming about was a lot bigger.
Yeah. Well, you got to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to start somewhere. But if it's your first show and you at the Garden, I think that's something special. You know what I'm saying?
One.
Your third show? I think that's still something special.
Ever.
Just say, hey, yo, I performed at the Garden, you know, in Madison Square Garden. Because there's different rooms in every event, you know what I mean? In every place to perform.
Yeah.
But just to say, yeah, I did perform there, it should be a big deal. You
And then I
should
try and be humble sometimes, and I just, you know, and then I'm learning about that too, not to do that so much. But while we were over there, so the presenter, the hostess was like, yeah, Joy Rocks. And then everyone was like, yeah, Joy Rocks. And my friends picked it up and they're like, girl, if you don't take that and run
with
right
it
now.
Yeah.
And then I said, you know what, I kind of like that. You know, Joy Rocks.
Okay.
You can, you know, hey, I rock out, rock solid, rock like
So it just stuck with you. That was it.
Yeah,
so shout out to that MC or the host that dubbed you Joy Rocks. So how long have you been doing music?
Officially or unofficially? Unofficially since I was a youngin', like 6 years old. Because, you know, my father was really big on music. He was an engineer by trade, but he was a DJ on the weekends.
Shout out to the DJs.
Had the show, the chore of polishing the records, you know, vinyl. And what else did he, you know, and then with that, he also he had a keyboard and really was big on the music. So he taught me how to play. Next thing I always use.
Do you play instruments?
The piano.
Oh, are you really good?
I am good. I play by ear.
Yeah,
I read
okay.
mild. I took some lessons eventually growing up, but I did it as a kid. I'll be that kid playing at the school assemblies, and national anthem. You know, I went to a Catholic school, so some Sundays that'll be me, blah blah blah. So
that's dope.
So you know, I play.
Yeah.
But so I always love music. Doing it officially, saying, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go to the studios and everything. I've been doing it for too long.
What was the turning point for you, like to say, I want to take this seriously?
Okay.
You know, for music.
I came to America for college.
Okay.
Right. And
for the people that don't know, what's your nationality? What's your background?
I'm from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Born, raised. I grew up there. I did all my high school there. After high school, I said, okay.
Yeah. You're not like a princess from over there or something like so, you know, people come over here and be like, I'm really a princess, you know, over there, or I'm a queen or something. You know, I've met some people like that.
Well, you know what?
Like of my tribe, like I'm a queen or I'm a princess of my tribe.
My grandfather was a chief.
Okay.
You know.
So Joy Rocks is somebody that's,
I have, and then I also have my mother's side. That's on my father's side. On my mother's side, the Bangles were like, you know, king, but not on the same vibe as you would expect in England. We're talking Africa. It's a lot deeper. And from the outside, it's not like the monarch, the palace in Buckingham Palace, etc.
No, but you got to put respect on it. You got to still put the respect on the tribes, though. You still have to put respect on it.
Yeah, I'm a little watered down. I'm not directly,
Mm-hmm.
but in my family, I come from real ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. Shout out to you. So
when I came here, I came for college. I came with $300 in my name, nothing else but big dreams. I said, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to graduate, and I'm going to make it out here. And they said I was crazy.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that? But long story short, I came here. I did graduate, management information systems. But while I was
congratulations,
doing that, thank you. While I was doing that, I always was rapping. I was always everywhere I was, and people come around. And then one of my friends was like, "Girl, why are you playing? Like, you need to stop sitting on what you got and get in the studio." And she got me the first studio session. And I used to, I was out in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And
is that where you moved to? Westchester, when you first came?
When I first came.
Pennsylvania?
No, I looked at the map and I said, okay, there's New York City. It's a
I looked
place.
at the map.
When I was in Africa.
Yo, put a pin there. Like, yo,
and
what?
I said, and here's D.C., New York. But I'm not yet ready to go here to New York. So I picked the smallest state I could see. I went to Delaware.
Yeah.
Because I figured this is how I'm going to...
It's close enough.
It's close enough, but this is where I learned. I'm not going to be overwhelmed. When I first got off the plane, I did get off at JFK.
Yeah. But then drove yourself. Bus. Yeah, train, bus, whatever. You walk there. I don't know.
I got straight off the ship.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Off the ship from Zimbabwe now. I had nothing to be riding nowhere except trying to look for where the station is. Didn't even know where nothing was. The lights was so... We do got cities and all, but nothing like New York City.
Yeah. You got lost over here. Crazy.
So I was like, whoa. But then, when I got to Delaware, it was slow. I went to school there, but then I wanted to be... I was in Philly a lot, then I moved to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So now it's closer to New York. And I would always be in and out, after I got more, acclimated to what's going on.
Was there a big, like, you came here basically and went to school. Was there this big thing with your parents, like, for certain jobs they wanted you to do? Because especially, being from Zimbabwe, I'm pretty sure they was like, come to America, become a doctor, become a lawyer, become something, become a physician, something like that nature. But then you pursue music.
And I'm a whole female rapper.
You know what I'm saying?
Whoa,
is that like a big problem for them, or how do they feel about it now?
You want to know something? I wish I knew how they truly feel about it. Because my mother passed away when I was 14.
Wow. Okay.
And my father passed away when I was 20.
Okay, wow. All right.
So I'll say when my mom passed, I was in Zimbabwe and life was a little crazy.
Yeah.
But, I had, I have an older sibling. She took me in. She was 21. She took care of me a little bit between her and my aunts.
Okay.
But when I turned 18 and I graduated high school, I actually was like number one. Number two, we do A-levels. I had 15 points at A-level is a big deal in Zimbabwe or in England because we used to be a colony of England. So therefore, our schooling system is just like the British.
Yeah.
They just started
you learn something new every day. Yeah, okay.
They started localizing our exam, but we wrote Cambridge exams. Straight from there and so on. So long story short, everyone in my family thought, yeah, man, she's going to be...
Yeah.
I did go for management information systems. I came for college.
Yeah.
However,
and you did graduate. You did do something.
I got,
you know what I'm saying? You didn't just come out here for nothing,
I did it.
Yeah.
However, my father passed when I was 20. When he did, and they did, I just felt like, first of all, there wasn't that much to hold on to back home. And I felt like I ain't have nothing more to lose.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? However, in losing them, I realized that, life is short.
Yeah.
Some people don't realize life is short because they have their parents till they're 70 or whatever. They don't even know that, oh man, any minute. So that said, I kind of felt like I wanted to be great for them. Even though, and I felt like they now in the spirit.
Proud of you?
Where they should understand.
It was the mission.
What I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
In that dimension.
You feel like they'd be proud of you right now?
I'm sorry?
You feel like they'll be proud of you right now?
I'm still working on making them what I feel would make them proud.
Okay. Are you proud?
Am I?
Of yourself, of where you come from and what you've done here.
So far?
So far.
I am.
Okay.
However, I also had very big hopes. I thought I was going to get on 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, I've been doing this for a very long time, to a point where some of my relatives will call me, man, Joy, maybe you should just stop.
What happens what kind of conversation do you have when that's said to you? What do you say?
I reached a point where now I don't talk about my career anymore. I maybe my one sibling, I might talk about a little bit but I don't talk details anymore. I don't get excited like I used to anymore, because every little thing I'll be doing, oh my God, guess what? So I got this show. Oh my God, I'm shooting this video. Because I realized when I was doing that, they meant well. I'm sure they meant well. They don't want to see me be the laughing stock of our bloodline, because she ain't never, you know what I'm saying? But long story short, I a lot of them, the ones that matter, understand. And it's a handful, and that's fine.
I feel like, for me personally, what they say or what anybody else says is just an opinion of what you have for yourself or what you envision for yourself.
Is everything.
Okay, so as long as you keep moving and keep pushing in the direction that you want to go to, and you're going to, I mean, I've seen you around for a long time. We've been in plenty of shows together where you've performed. I've seen you, and now we're here. So I feel like, everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
And you just can't, and I just want you to, I'm saying this, so I want you to be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Okay? I want you to, you look in the mirror and be proud of yourself of, where you come from and how much work you've put in.
Absolutely.
Everything doesn't happen overnight, for everybody. You never know. You might leave here and then your break might be tomorrow, and look at that, boom,
Ooh.
You get exactly where you want to be. But I just want you to, just to be proud of yourself. For what you've done and what you've accomplished, because especially coming from nothing and what you say your story is.
Yes.
Just know you put in the work, so it's it's coming to fruition and everything's working out for you. Just be proud of the work you put in.
Yeah.
All right, pat yourself on the back sometimes. You have to, even when everybody else doesn't or everybody else can't see what's going on. All right.
Facts.
So Joy rocks.
That.
She's in the building.
Yeah.
A little backstory. Let's talk about the music. Why become a rapper and how did you learn how to rap? Because,
the language.
It's sometimes it's hard to know what bars are.
Yeah.
Or how to write, music to beats. You could write poetry. People start like that, I started writing poetry and then just started applying it to, certain beats I had. So how did you, the rapping come about for you?
Okay, well, it started when I was still back home.
Okay.
Right? I would watch, we had this, MTV Base would show in Africa, in Zimbabwe. And, Channel O was a South African station. So I would see all these...
Channel O like a hip-hop station? What is that?
Yeah, it was Channel O. Well...
Channel O.
Yeah, Channel O.
Yeah.
It's like... it was a hip-hop station. It was a rap. They'll play also South African music, Kwaito, and, so on.
Why not perform South African music? You can speak in your language, your native tongue?
I speak Shona. My first language is Shona.
And
that's in Zimbabwe.
Have you ever done music in
Shona?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I got some records now. I'll put it in perspective. What happened? What happened was I was watching a lot of this stuff. Like, man, these guys are so cool. So I started copying their raps. I remember the first rap I ever learned was like Tupac.
Okay.
And I liked it. And then I would be rapping.
So Tupac's big over there? You would say Tupac's big?
Tupac and Biggie. At the whole culture, hip hop really it's traveled big. And it really influenced the youth over there, like in a bigger way than people would think. It's totally false that Africans don't rock with Americans.
Yeah.
No, we was like, man, it's nice over there. Oh, look at them shoes. Oh, shoot, look at that. Oh, and then it's an aspiration, and I feel like even for me, part of my motivation was maybe I'll bridge the gap in some way. My people's over there.
So you had a plan.
My people's over here.
Yeah.
And maybe in the music scene we can make an explosion or something. Now I came here rapping, but also doing a little bit of a reggae toasting vibe, and I sing as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of my music now will still have a little bit of that combination where I'm singing a little bit, on the hook, maybe on the bridge, maybe.
Yeah.
And I'll rap on my hooks. I have a song called Shingirira. We did a video. And recipes my niece just passed. But this song, I did it in Shona and a little English. So a little combo. And then on the video, we made sure to put the
You
caption.
have a video out for that right now?
Yes.
Where they can find that? You like YouTube?
You find that on YouTube.
What's it called?
Shingirira, hold on.
What is it? What does that mean?
Hold on. Shingirira means hold on.
Hold on, okay.
Yeah,
Shingirira.
like be strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you say it so I can tell it to people?
Shingirira.
Can I say it like in an angry tone, like hold on, like Shingirira?
Shingirira is now more passionate.
I gotta put it like that.
Shingirira.
All right.
But if you're comforting someone in a softer tone, it's more like Shingirira. Shingirira.
Shingirira.
So that's like hold on. So that video is out. It was shout out to Will Street. He shot that video. Went to Puerto Rico for it. It was very special. But not trying to digress. How did I learn how to rap? The first studio I went to was in Philly, and the producer, his name was Tim the Tool Man. He produced for Bone Thugs, Crazy Bone. My first producer produced for Crazy Bone.
That's dope.
So now I'm in the studio.
How do you get with these people? Like, how did you you just new to America? Like, how do you you produce? Hey, what's up?
No, my name is. My story, dots just connect. And kinda, so my one friend from college was dating this one guy who was cousins with Tim the Tool Man.
Okay.
So he said, "Oh, hey, I was telling my boy about you," and he said, "Yo,
you don't think that's like fate a little bit?
A lot of the things that are like, oh my God, what?"
Like I was supposed to come to America. Yeah. I was supposed to go to that school. I was supposed to have this girl as my friend because she was supposed to date this guy who's cousin with the producer. You don't feel like
story even till today to even how I met you. There's always a back. Everything is leading to the next. So in my walk, I'm learning. I wasn't always cool, calm, and in alignment. Made a lot of mistakes and stuff like that. But
as you should. You're human.
You learn how to trust your intuition and how to be real, especially a shout out to the Most High.
Yeah, absolutely.
When he's moving with you, things just kind of happen. More than when you trying to do it yourself. This is my experience. Every time I take things on my own, turn my back, I got this, man. Oh my God, the disasters I make. The second I turn around and I say, hey, man, I need you because I can't. Then all of a sudden, I get a call from such and such. I meet such and such who knew and da. But I went to the studio. I recorded this song. Man, he made the beats and everything.
Yeah.
He actually recorded me for about 5 hours, 4 hours.
Okay.
We made a record. I'm thinking
one record. Now one record you was just trying to get right.
More records.
Okay.
But I'm telling you about the first time. Then I finished. I'm like excited, man. Yeah. And he looks at me. And he says, Joy, this is garbage.
Yeah.
My nigga, this is horrible. This is whack.
You got to appreciate that, though.
I cried that day.
No, but you see, you got to appreciate that. I would appreciate somebody telling me this is not it.
Literal
you could probably do better.
And he said, I'm sorry to break it to you. You want to rap. I've heard you, live. You got a lot of potential. But this is not a record. This is not how you write a record. Your hook is terrible. It's boring. There's no bridge or anything that's interesting to get you in.
So he taught you. He taught you what it is to put a song together.
First verse, my God, these bars is horrible. Yo.
I kind of would have been laughing. I ain't gonna lie.
No, me, I cried because I really thought I was
like,
killing
damn, son, you didn't have to tell her like that. Yeah.
And I wasn't even the only person in the studio. There was other people. There was two other people.
Did they say like it wasn't it either? Like, did they agree?
They was just quiet and saying, "Yep, man, yep." And I'm like,
I would have laughed. I would have walked out the room because I would have been laughing a little bit, but probably agreeing with them. Like, this is not it.
I sat there and I listened though. I cried and then I got out my feelings because they actually even clouded my tit. Like, nigga, you ain't gonna make it like this. This is you can't.
You have to appreciate.
You
that,
gotta
though.
listen and understand that. Why would I waste my time 5 hours recording you? Just to put you down.
How did you take that criticism? You say you was crying. So how was that?
And then I calmed down and he gave me another chance. And he said, listen, go home. Listen to how bad you sound right here.
Yeah.
Listen. and then write the shit over, man. Write a hook that's dope. Write something that's catchy that people will want to sing along to, man. Write shit that rhymes. And he started telling me about the metaphors. Find some fly things to say. Have swag. Swag is everything. If you can't
at that time, did you know what swag was?
I did, you know, but maybe I didn't have it.
Like, what the fuck is swag?
I might not have had it. To
I didn't have swag, but I knew what swag was. Okay,
I had my own swag.
Okay, I got
but
you.
not the American swag. And he broke it down to me, even in my rap. Some of these, nigga, I can't hear what you're saying. If you're in Rome, act like the Romans. You can't say, yo, we danced the night away. At that point, okay, the other cat's doing it now, the British rapper. But he says you have to try and sell us the way the dope rappers here flow. Listen to him, man, and go and really
that's funny.
Tap in. And learn your shit. Come back.
Trying to mimic like the guy's voice, like, damn, nigga.
And I was sounding corny, chewing my words wrong, and sometimes, but I spoke English as my second language. However, my accent was definitely different. It has progressed, and it has also, blended with.
You can still hear that you have an accent, but it's not probably as
in your face, like it used to be. So, with that said, I did that. And then I really have, my catalog online might look terrible, like, oh, she just got 6 songs out. I've been rapping for so long. I did maybe recorded like 40, 50 songs. I had to scrape the things off because they were starting to sound dated. Production wise.
Do you feel like, do you don't think that you should have left some of that up? Like,
I left some up.
Okay.
I left some up.
Because if you put something out now, I feel like if you put something out now and people like the song or like the music, they will want to search. They want to look for like some other where you started from. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, let's see where she came from. Or this is just like something new. She just came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? This girl just came out of nowhere.
But the real ones, no.
Not everybody's a real one.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna search you and go like, where she came from out of nowhere. But then they look back at what you came from, like, yo, she used to be trash, but she's mad nice now.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm trying to say?
That's true. No, I came a long way. I've been rapping for a very long time, but I don't want to really start breaking down the years, because now you're gonna start mathing like, okay, she was XYZ years old. We're gonna talk about that because I've been rapping.
No, it's all good. I
don't mind. But
you're not supposed to ask a lady her age anyway, so I'm gonna leave it.
But the long story is short, I literally evolved over many different phases. Like the first phase was my Philly phase. Then I started coming to New York a lot more. Then I came to New York around 2010.
Okay.
At that point I had come for these showcase. I done a showcase in Philly. Then they said it's an audition in New York. So come to New York and do this audition, and it's gonna be label heads there. And I said, okay, bet, I'm coming. Boom, I went, and I'm gonna be quick about it.
No, go ahead.
So that's when I'd actually, before that, I was in Philly, frustrated. And then I prayed, said, listen, man, God, I'm tired. I'm about to quit. If you want me to quit and do something else, now is the time to tell me, because I cannot
show
keep
me. Basically,
doing
show
this.
me what I got.
Show me something for real, that this is a clear sign you want me to keep doing this. And about a day or two later, I got a call from David L.
Okay.
This is years ago, 2010. And
shout out to David L,
hey, yo, I got this audition in the city, for artists. I got Violator's gonna be there. Capitol Records was there. And I don't remember the third one. It was somebody from Epic was there. I think Epic, So I'm like, okay, shoot, that sounds good. I said, God, if this ain't a sign, man, this gotta be some sign that I can't stop right now. So let me go over here. If something happens and I connect with people, then that's a good thing. If I don't, then I'm going to hang it up and I'll go back to school and go try to do masters, PhDs, and all this stuff. Everybody do. Boom.
Everybody do.
I was like, all right then. So I came out here to New York, and I had this record. I had a couple of records that was interesting. One of which is funny now in hindsight. Somebody jacked that record, but we ain't even gonna talk about that. That's gonna do what it does, because that's gonna help me now. This is years ago, 2010. Somebody jacked the record and put it out in 2019. Now I know, but it's cool because other people are gonna handle that, and thank you. Never mind that. So 2010, I did that record, and at another record, which one producer had sold me, man, this is when you're new, you're trying to do better. So you buy a record that's got somebody on the hook. And they, tell you, oh, nah, we're going to push this. But that
they reference the record.
Yeah, that they actually recorded the artists and worked with them.
They reference. It's a reference.
Yeah.
That's a reference track.
Yeah.
So they reference the track, and then they gave it to you for you could...
No, they didn't give it to me. They
you
sold
bought
it to me.
You bought it, and that's how you're supposed to perform the song.
But
did you do the song? Did you do the song over?
I did that song.
Okay.
I did that
How did it work out for you?
Man, I was standing, it was crazy because a long hallway, all these artists is in the hallway waiting to go in. They're going in, they're coming out, they're going in, they're coming out. I'm like, damn, that quick. Everybody going in, 5-7 minutes out, 5-7 minutes out. I'm like, oh man, so this is just yet another thing. I'm feeling bad. Like, man, I spent all this money, I'm here.
Yeah.
Dang. Anyway, I go in, I perform the records, and then there was David Lighty and A.B. Butler. And they said, nah, you stay.
Yeah.
Don't go out there. I said, all right, man, let's stay. I sat next to them. I watched the rest of the things go down. And, they wanted to work. And I was like, okay, let's go. They started coming out here. And that was my cue. I actually moved from PA. I left that alone.
That was the moment you moved from PA to New York to continue pursuing this.
To continue and now be in the city and be in the motion and the vibration versus just... wanting it and coming once every week, So I came out here and we were working, At that point, man, I was amazed. I was in places I never thought I could be. I was, going up to Violator. Was it 36th Street or 31st? Like nothing. Me, oh my gosh.
So you're moving around. So fast forward, you're moving around the city.
Yeah.
And now you get to this point right now, where we are right now, and you have music out. So you have a song out with Uncle Murda, right? It's a very good song, actually. So I really like the song.
Thank you.
How does that connect? How does that connection happen?
Well, like when I started moving with David Lighty and A.B. Butler, I met him a lot. Studio, sometimes, some events they would have.
Uncle Murda's a good dude. You know what I'm saying? I really rock with Uncle Murda.
Yeah, he's very humble, very real. And just good energy. So I met him a few times. I actually went to one time, he had a video, but I was always the little fly on the wall. I was nobody. I ain't had no records, and I say that loosely. You learn. You're somebody. Never words have power.
Absolutely.
So at that point, I mean, when I say that, I mean nobody knew me except I'm just this developing artist. I'm moving with these people. They got me in the studios. I don't really have records like that yet. I'm trying to find the record at this point. So I met him, and then later on, Chris Lighty passed away.
Yes.
And things changed. Like a whole lot of things changed. Everybody's
a lot of things changed when that happened for a lot of people.
For me, that was so heartbreaking because when he was around, man, you couldn't tell me nothing. I felt I'm gonna make it, man. I'm in the right place. So that ended very abruptly. And even the people I was working with, some moved to North Carolina. I know AB still moved in the city. He started his own thing. But for me, it was a lot of things started happening, and I felt like I was drowning in New York. Like, oh man, I don't know if this is really supposed to be what's happening. Everything, because my dreams seem like at that time. But I was still fighting to make songs and records anyway, still pushing on my own. And then I just reached out to him and I just asked him, I'm trying to do this record, what you think? And he said, send me the record. He liked it. Next thing we was at One World Studio and we was working and he's recording it and it was dope. And then fast forward after that, the record didn't even get justice when I did it because life took a turn. I got a little flustered and I thought maybe this is gonna kill me in New York. Maybe this is gonna burn me out. So I said, and then I moved to the South for a second. I said, let me try and be in Atlanta for a little bit. Maybe
you'll find something there.
Yeah, but no, that wasn't it for me. I wanted to be back here so bad for a long time. 6 years went by. I almost lost everything to do with music, just because the vibe was not it for me, and my life personals was horrendous, and it was a nightmare. Yeah. I came back broken, literally, physically. And I
you left to go to find yourself, and you came back broken. I came back, which is crazy.
And I came back.
Yeah.
Literally, I'd worked very hard. I had a lot of nice things, stuff like that. I literally came back to New York back in 2021 with nothing. It's my daughter at this point.
Pandemic happened and all that.
Me and the kid now. Didn't have one, but now I do. And she was 3 then. She's 7 now.
Okay.
Thank you, God. We're doing it. Me and her. Just me and her.
Okay.
However, so I came back and I just had faith and hope that, man, New York and the music is gonna make everything all right. And I came back and I just got right back and started making more records.
And been doing shows, because I've been seeing you in a lot of shows.
Yes.
Because, I like to go to a lot of these events and be booked for a lot of these events because there's a lot of talent that's out.
Yeah.
And one thing about a lot of these shows, no matter who puts it on, you're there performing. And I always see you, and that's how, we got, to networking and, we're here now.
It's beautiful.
So, like I said, be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Coming from all that.
I appreciate it.
So, you have any new projects out right now?
Right now? Yeah. Well, I just put out a record last month. It's called Seen It All. And again, check out that Shingirira. It's a very serious record. It's very personal. I have a new song. We're shooting a video this week. I shouldn't have told y'all that, but hey, I am. So soon it's going to come out with a new single, and it's going to be Back.
What's that video? What's the new video going to be called? Back?
Yeah, like I never left.
Oh, okay, Back. Okay, just Back.
Back.
Okay.
Yeah, in parentheses.
Got you.
I never left.
Okay.
And that's actually the subtitle for, that's the title, rather, of the upcoming EP.
EP you're putting out.
Which is...
Okay. Do you have any projects that were like EPs or albums before, or this is like the first?
When I came back, I had EPs. I promise you can probably see the empty shells if you go digging around. But I yanked everything down because I had this gap that I didn't like.
In the years, okay.
That made me feel like if anyone who doesn't know me, doesn't know my story or look for me, they're gonna be like, well, damn.
I feel like you should have left some of that up. I feel as somebody that likes to listen to music and somebody that might be interested in you, I want to know what kind of story, because maybe you're relatable. That whole doing music and then taking the gap, and that part's relatable. That makes who you are now.
I have some that I just didn't take down, but it's not on any. I took it off the major platforms, so you find it on the little random sites if you Google and search deep enough. But I just felt like I needed a little rebranding as well, because when I looked at everything in hindsight, I had done a whole lot of growing in some ways. So some of the records I had in the beginning weren't really resonating. Anyway, like that. Now, but then again, like you said, it's timestamps, different periods of our lives, and so on. And I feel like everything is a story you share. It's like poetry, but
is a lot of this, everything you're going through, going to be like on this EP? Are you going to talk about any of it through your raps?
As a lot I never talked about. What's crazy, I'm one of those artists people wonder about. People want to hear a story about struggle and pain, but you learn when you talk to me. Oh man, I can imagine. God damn, what you went through? What? Oh shit, damn. But I wasn't one of those artists who was trying to get my come up by a sob story. Necessarily, like get up on the gram and talk about, I lost, and I lost such and such.
So what music would you say you want to put out right now?
What I got right now is a dose of the truth. All of it is in there. Everything is passionate. I got some, y'all just gotta please stay up with me and check for this Back. Like I never left. I got a couple of other records.
Is that dropping? When is Back when is Back coming out?
Expected right around summer for 21st thereabouts or earlier.
That's the video or the song?
The video will be out sooner. In another say in a couple of weeks.
All right, dope.
In a couple of weeks.
All right. And it's gonna be off the EP, and that's gonna be the title of it.
Yes.
The EP as well.
Back.
Like
I never left. That part.
So tell anybody else where they can find you at.
All right. Well, I'm on Instagram, of course, JoyRocks, Joy Rocks. All right. I'm also, YouTube, you find Joy Rocks. Vivo is where the real official videos is at. There's a really old video on there too, by the way, from like.
We're gonna search that up. We're gonna look that up.
Don't laugh.
Yeah.
But at any rate, So find me on YouTube, Instagram, X. Funny story. I am gonna come through with my TikTok. It's there, Joy Rocks. But I thought they were gonna shut the shit down.
So you stopped. You didn't put no content.
So I said, man, I'm not going. Now I'm mad.
Do you have anything up there for people to look at, or no?
Let's just talk about what we said. Find me on Instagram, okay? Joy Rocks.
I got you.
JOI Rocks.
Okay. Soon to be on TikTok, so look out for her.
Soon.
All right.
Look, it's dramatic. I promise you. There's a strategy. There's a method to the madness.
Okay, got you.
So that's it.
All right.
In a nutshell.
Back is gonna be coming out soon.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
EP is gonna be also called Back.
It's gonna be really there. I talk about some things that y'all probably. Okay, she's starting to open up a little. She's finally talking.
Make sure I appreciate this conversation we had too. I learned a lot about you.
Thank you.
And shout out to you. Like I said, be proud of yourself and everything you've done for yourself and for your child. Congratulations on everything.
Yes,
and I appreciate you being locked in with me. Joy Rocks on everything. X, Twitter, Instagram, all that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Let's get it.
Look out for her, all right? Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
All right, let's do it.
Get it.